minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. 3 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. T-minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
All aboard! Very big day. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. It is a football Friday, and we got a lot of football to get to, but it's a very special day. I put on my Sunday best. In a second, you're going to see why. Kevin the Medium coming up to co-host with me in hour one from the Hughes Sports Podcast and Cavalli channeling. Yes, I'm wearing formal attire today. It's hockey, but you get the picture. Canada versus USA, World Baseball Classic Friday night. I can't wait. We got Jim Lang coming up in hour two, by the way, to cover. Hi, Kev, to cover all the NFL for us. Jim Lang, Canada's foremost NFL expert. What's going on, buddy? Happy Football Friday.
It's Friday. It's the greatest day of the week. Even when you're retired, Friday's the greatest day.
I told you. A buddy of mine, his name's Bob. He said the trouble with being retired is you never get a day off. So I totally understand, Kev. I totally understand. You're still working, even though you think that you're retired. God bless your pea-picking heart. Okay, let's go. This is where I'm opening with the big story. I don't really care about anybody else because there's a million things going on in sports. But Kevin and I think millions actually are focused on this. Canada playing their first ever playoff game at the World Baseball Classic tonight. It's not going to be easy. The Canadians face the U.S. in a quarterfinal contest at Houston's Dakin Park, formerly Minute Maid Park. The Americans are favored to win the international tournament overall. Tonight's game, Kev, you're a gambler, right? You're a gambler. USA is favored by minus 1,000. I don't even know what that means, but I don't think it's good. What does that mean?
That means like if you put $1 down, you can win 1,000. So translated into real words is Canada really doesn't have a chance here.
No, well, I can't wait. 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I think it's on Fox. I'll sort it out later. But as I say, it's Football Friday. We're going to get to the football. Kevin has been doing a lot of work, actually getting ready for the show. At least one of us has. And it's not like we don't know who we're going to cheer for tonight, right? Our U.S. viewers are going to cheer for the U.S. We're clearly, here's who we're going to be cheering for. But if anybody's not into this, Kev, and I know you've been doing a little research yourself, but here's one. I'm going to give you 2 words that'll tug at your heart if you're not really into this game tonight. Ernie Witt. And we've talked all week about the fact that he is the manager, but I just read a story on him this morning. He has coached Canada in all 6 World Baseball Classic. He's been the skipper for every time.
Holy.
And they finally made the playoffs. And his quote was, going into this game, "It's been a long road." And I'm like, oh, my God. No, but you get it. For anybody that's been on a long road,
yeah,
to actually see there is a horizon. Oh, my God.
I see light.
That's what, yes. Ernie Witt, man, a national treasure. I mean, listen. How many Team Canada members can you name, Kev? I don't want to put you on the spot, but let's be honest.
Rod Black's son. Literally, the only reason I can do that is because of you. I can't name one. What? I will be sitting on the couch watching this game, and I hope it turns out to be where were you on March 13th, Friday the 13th, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Were you watching the miracle on the field?
Yeah, on the diamond. Miracle on the diamond. Well, and it's funny. I would hope that we can all have some fun with this. I didn't tell you this, I don't think. I walked into a 12-step meeting last Saturday, and I hadn't seen my buddy Mitch from New Jersey for quite some time. First thing he says, he walks up to me and he goes, "Sorry about the Olympics," and then keeps walking. And I'm like, oh, you. And he's my buddy. So, I mean, can we have some fun with this? Canada, USA, which reminds me, that's our poll question, Kevin, today for EMJ Marketing. Is this a rematch of the gold medal hockey games, men's and women's? Because I'm going to be honest with you, this morning I'm working out of the gym, and CNN has across the bottom of the ticker, USA, Canada, World Baseball Classic, rematch of Olympic hockey games. I'm like, no, it's not. Give me a break. Unless you think it is.
It will be if we pull out an absolute miracle. If we don't pull out a miracle, then it's just we got to the quarterfinals. Yay. It's like winning a game in FIFA. It's like Canada winning a game in FIFA World Cup. It'll be yay.
Yeah, you can't. We got to have a distinction on this. We have to have a ruling before we even go into the game. And I'm going to tell you why it's not. I mean, I'm sitting there going, CNN, are you, like, at least you're talking about it. God bless CNN for taking a break from war coverage, and God bless them for what they do. You know, they're promoting tonight's game, but it's like, it's not a rematch for the gold medal hockey games, and it's not because of who's going to win or not. Kev, it's a different sport, and it's a quarterfinal. And secondly, if Canada wins this game and maybe goes on to win the whole thing, is it going to make Connor McDavid feel any better?
No.
Really?
No, not a bit.
No.
Can we ask him?
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, come on, CNN. Be better.
Does this me winning a gold medal make you losing a gold medal make you feel better, Connor? There's a question we can ask him.
It's like walking up to him. It's like this. Hey, Joe Carter won all the World Series, Connor McDavid, and you haven't won anything. How's that feel? Like Mark Spector with his like. No.
Does it make you feel any better?
Yeah. So here's the thing. 79% of respondents on our EMJ marketing poll said no. What the hell's wrong with the 21% that said it is? Like, do you even follow sports? There's no way this is a rematch for the hockey games. My God. Anyways, Jeff, the Stamps fan, and when I said I'm wearing my Sunday best, here's one, Kev, that you and everybody hasn't seen for quite some time. I drugged this out of the closet this morning. Or are you going to puke?
I'm going to get you a real cup, and like either one of these beautiful cups, or or I'm going to get you a BC Lions cup. Your choice.
I'll get back to you. How about that? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, perhaps it's better to consider it a revenge game rather than a rematch. Well, if that's motivation, which I guarantee you not one of Team Canada's thinking of. Dale in Winnipeg writes that he says, good afternoon, Rod and crew. Enjoying as always. It's been a while. Welcome in, Dale. Get settled, get comfortable. Our entire opening segment here of the warm-up, which is incidentally brought to you by our friend Neil Chark of Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP Show. If you're planning your next trip, connect with Neil at uniglobecarefreetravel.com. It's all been about Canada, USA in tonight's World Baseball Classic Quarterfinal. When we come back, we have breaking NHL news today. We have NFL to get to. Kevin has done a deep dive on CFL topics, and believe it or not, I have UFL and Continental Football League stuff. I'm not joking to talk about. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edgier seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
Okay, it's a Football Friday. Kevin the Medium joins us. Before we delve into the football, here's the breaking news of which I spoke earlier from the NHL. The Chicago Blackhawks and Ottawa Senators will play 2 games in Dusseldorf later this year as part of the NHL and NHLPA's efforts to grow hockey in Germany. The NHL announced this morning. We'll get to that in a moment. From the National Football League, point 3. Kyler Murray is a Minnesota Viking. The first player taken in the 2019 NFL Draft has signed a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings shortly after being released by the Arizona Cardinals. As NFL's free agency officially opened on Wednesday, Arizona let Kyler Murray go despite owing him $36.8 million U.S. in guaranteed salary this season. Jim Lang, Canada's foremost NFL authority, coming up an hour or two to discuss all of these moves. And I have some fun thoughts on the NFL coverage before we get to the other leagues. But, Kevin, you said the Seahawks are your team. You don't follow much else. From where you sit, the chaos that's gone on in the NFL this week, what has stood out to you? You couldn't have escaped it. What do you see?
You know what? And I can be honest, and you know I never try to talk about something I don't know something about.
Yeah,
I have literally paid zero attention to any NFL talk. It's been weird being where we are. I've kept off social media just because of the ugliness. Mm-hmm. I've turned off I very rarely turn the TV on anymore. And if I do, I'm watching stupid shows like Deadliest Catch just to escape from all the ugliness. So I can honestly say I haven't paid attention to the NFL one iota.
Okay. Totally fine. And by the way, I've been taking a bit of a social media break too, and it's been good. I think some people call that a cleanse. But having said that, this wasn't on my phone, and this is where I want your take and the viewers as well. So I'm an NFL fan. I live in an NFL market, right? We air in a lot of NFL markets, so I'm keeping an eye on it. And so this morning, all ESPN's talking about is March Madness. And I get it because they're airing all the games, so they're going to air it. I'm not going to get into it yet. It hasn't even started yet, okay? So I flip over to NFL Network thinking, let's see what these Cowboys are talking about. And they got this guy on. I don't even know his name. Some insider, all primped and proper. You know what I mean? The usual. Yeah, the insider. And here's the thing. That's the latest on Kirk Cousins. And the guy's like, well, he could go to the Rams, and he could go to the Cardinals, and he could go here, and he could go there, or he may not do anything at all because he's owed this much amount of money. And I'm sitting on the couch going, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So you're just BSing us right now. And as I said to you, I'm like, I got sucked into it again. Every year I get sucked into it again.
And yet they spent how much time talking about nothing? It's literally like, whoa, let's pretend we know something these people out here don't know. We could do the same thing. Well, Kirk Cousins could go to Seattle. I can say it. I'm an insider. I'm now an insider.
I was so mad at myself. I'm like, can anybody else see this? The guy doesn't know. And he's being paid to be an insider. Oh my God. It's not that I'm not saying all insiders are, kerfluies. I mean, Elliot Friedman right now, I think if you went and looked at who's number one in sport, who's getting it, well, Adam Schefter is probably number one NFL, ESPN, but in Canada, Elliot Friedman's just knocking it out of the park on the reg. But, I mean, there's a lot of guys purporting themselves to be insiders, and they don't have a flipping clue, man. So it was literally like, click. So we'll talk more NFL next hour.
I wonder, everybody keeps stats down there. I'm wondering if people actually, if somewhere they keep a stat on insiders, and when they break rumors, breaking news, do they actually, do they keep track of how often these guys lie?
They are doing that. And Elliot Friedman's coming out on top. That's part of the reason why I've said that, because a lot of those guys are my friends. I don't feel good rating Elliot Friedman ahead of Darren Dreger or you know what I mean? Like, I know all those guys. I've known them for decades. It's just Friedman, studies show, has knocked the most out of the park. But also the people that are wrong, they're getting outed too. And that's part of why I don't really want to be in the insider business, because it's really, really hard. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of other great stories. I'll tell you just one before we move to football. Last night, I'm standing beside Sergei Bobrovsky. Literally, thank you, God, for the opportunities that I get here. And I'm standing beside Sergei Bobrovsky. And he was asked about the trade deadline drama last week, and he literally was like, I don't know if you saw the clip because it's on my social media. He's like, I love it here. I love this team. I love the fans. I love the organization. I love the guys. I just want to stay here. I love everything. Sergei Bobrovsky. And I'm sitting there going, man, Bob, you would be a terrible poker player. Terrible. But I also get it. Those of us that wear our heart on our sleeve, you always know where we're coming from. You always know where you stand with us. And that's Bob. He's like, I just love it here. So whatever, give me a contract and I'll be happy. I don't want to jerk anybody around. The end.
Well, and wasn't it some guy in Canada, some news reporter, some sports insider in Canada that started that whole rumor?
Oh, I feel like the first show to talk about it was us, and it was just it was just business. It's like he's on an expiring contract. The Panthers aren't going to make the playoffs. We were the ones that started talking about it, but you know what? Don't say that too loud because Paul Maurice thinks it started in Canada. Let's let him think that. Oh, maybe, and one other thing. Yeah.
Maybe he thinks you're still Canadian.
I am. So, and as, by the way, as we were sitting there last night, I was sitting beside Jeff Rimmer, the former voice of the Florida Panthers and Columbus Blue Jackets. And this guy came up, Tyreek Hill, and he was like, where's he going to go? I'm like, I don't know, and I don't care. Okay, let's move on. Well, I'll ask Jim Lang that next hour. Point 4. And Jason and Red Deer's been reading my diary again. He writes in, he goes, I started seeing posts on social media now for the Continental Football League. I'm kind of excited for it. I haven't picked a favorite team yet. Hang on. Point 4 of the Quick 6 show topics. The Continental Football League completes its 2026 lineup as the historic Braves brand returns to Texas, bringing community-driven professional football to one of America's most passionate football regions. The Fort Worth Braves return to the Continental Football League. Somehow they found me. And then another from the United Football League, they found my inbox. The Continental Football League, the United Football League. Here's another one. Every city says they have the best fans. Now it's time to prove it. The 2026 UFL season is here. New teams, new coaches, new stadiums, new cities. A brand new chapter of fast, fearless spring football. But before the first kickoff, something bigger is happening. The season starts with a challenge, not between players, but between cities. From March 12th to the 26th, every fan base in the league is going head-to-head in the UFL Kickoff Challenge, a race to see which city rallies the most for their home opener. A fan vote to see who's got the best fans. What do you think of all of this?
That is how I'm going to pick my UFL team. Whichever team wins that challenge, I will jump on the bandwagon. That's it. Jake and I are going to cover the UFL and we're going to pick a team. This is how I'm picking a team. I'm going to let the fans decide.
Well, I think it's a good thing. Kevin and I, we've talked about this. We've known each other. This summer will be 4 years.
Wow.
And it feels like we've been friends a lot longer, not in a bad way. But Kev didn't really know who I was until we met at a spiritual fair in Canmore, Alberta on July 1st, 2022.
Yes.
And here we are today. My point of all that is, as the sports guy for a very long time, especially in football, these leagues, like Mike Kelly is the commissioner of the Continental Football League. And so it's not hard to figure out how he found my inbox for them to send. But the United Football League, I never knew those guys, but they're sending me all their stuff. So I'm going to say they know where to find me, and I will engage with them. And I'm just wondering, this Continental Football League, it is a football Friday. Everybody's come here to escape their crappy hockey teams and all the rest. They came here to talk football. Yeah, you're one. I see a lot of Leaf fans have showed up here. That very same Jason says, how many new football leagues are we going to start? Next season will be the USA XYZFL. Whatever. I don't know. We're just right now talking about the UFL and the Continental Football League, and God bless them. I mean, I'd like to see the CFL engage their fans a little more, like to have a contest. Let's be honest. If we had a contest, who's the best fans in the CFL? We know who's winning, and they wear green. The sad thing is, I feel like you actually believe that.
See, I do. It's in my heart. I believe
Kevin.
we are. No, we're not. I'm joking. Come on. I have said it many times. Rider fans over the decades, Jeff the Stamps fans, you're nuts if you say the Elks. You need to go back and take your medicine because it's not working. It's obviously over the decades, it's got to be Rider fans. Short time, I would almost put the Smurf Mafia up there, but yeah, still Rider fans. You guys are all nuts. And I love you. It's a good nuts. I love it. I think it's great that people buy season tickets and they live 4 or 5 hours away from the stadium. No other team has that.
No, I'm just listening to you talk because you know that if you said it wasn't Rider fans, you'd be tossed out of that house. You'd be coming to live with me in Florida. Vintage Sasko writes in, says looking forward to the St. Louis Battlehawks joining the CFL if the UFL hibernates, baby. Which reminds me, I don't know where this is going football wise. You look at the owner of the UFL was on ESPN SportsCenter this morning, and again, I said, TSN's talking college basketball because they're airing the games. ESPN's talking a lot of college basketball, but they had the UFL president owner on this morning. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that founded Body Armor, the sports energy drink or recovery drink or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. I don't know. I don't drink it. Yeah, but I mean, they're pushing it there. So for how long these leagues stick around, I'm not sure, but I'll say it again. We all know who would win the contest of the best fans in the CFL, so there's no point even having that contest. But I'm with Kev. I'm like, I kind of like that the UFL is doing it. Bill writes in, he's from Whitby, Ontario. He says, even this Argos fan agrees Rider fans are the best fans. I mean, did you read the book, The Water Boy by Bobby Ackles?
Yes.
Fantastic book. Required reading.
Yes.
Which, tell me what, this is the former president. This is the guy that started as the water boy of the BC Lions and worked his way all the way up to being president of the BC Lions. And in between was a sojourn through the NFL where he worked for the Dallas Cowboys and Arizona Cardinals. But what did you think about that book, by the way?
Probably one of the most inspirational sports books of its kind. It was, I mean, think about it. This guy literally took a volunteer position originally and ran that to become the president of a football team because that was his passion. If we all followed our passion like that, holy crap, this world would be a better place.
Well, and his stories were unbelievable, which we'll talk about more after the break. Oh, I know. Maybe Bobby's watching today because it's Football Friday, but in that book, we'll get to the BC stuff after the break, but in the book, he was sitting at the table the night Jerry Jones came up at the NFL draft and said to our league meetings and said, let's have a toast for all the guys that helped me win the Super Bowl. And Jimmy Johnson was sitting there and didn't raise his glass. And that was the last day that Jimmy Johnson was employed by the Dallas Cowboys. And it's in Bobby Ackles' book. Bobby was sitting there. And it was so this summer, I'm watching the documentary on the Cowboys, and Jerry Jones is telling the story. And you know how I feel about the Cowboys. They're my team, but I feel Jerry Jones is a liar. And he's telling this story about that night. I'm like, you're lying. Because Bobby Ackles said it the way it was. In his, yeah. I'll listen to Bobby Ackles. Sorry, Jerry. So anyways, it's a Football Friday. I don't know why I get worked up with the damn Dallas Cowboys. I'm trying not to. I really am.
It's a thing, Rod. I'm telling you, we can't get rid of it.
I know. It does run deep. We will be back. Jimmy Lang coming up in hour 2, by the way. It's the RP show, and we're live across Canada in 33 states on the Game Plus television network.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edgier seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Welcome back on a Football Friday, everybody. A couple of business items. Jim Lang will be with us in hour two. Our guests are presented by Prairie Panels, a Saskatchewan-based company specializing in high-quality construction panels and engineered building solutions. Check them out at prairiepanels.ca. And sign up for the Rod Squad newsletter. It's free. You can do so at rodpedersen.com. Just click on newsletter. It's brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. Kevin, before I throw it back to you with any and all topics, I will say this. The UFL is running a contest where the fans can vote for what is the best fan base in the UFL, and we like it. It's fun. It's aggressive. It's new stuff. Jeff, the Stamps fan, with regard, we all said the Rider fans would win in the CFL if there was such a contest. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I can tell you this, Edmonton Elks never had to have a telethon to save their team. Don't ruin this, Jeff. Just don't be that guy today, because I'll bury you. I'll put you in a body bag. The 2010 Western Final in Calgary, Riders at Stampeders. You guys had a fan rally downtown on Stephen F. Austin Mall. 3 people showed up and 2 were Rider fans in Calgary. Don't go there today. Okay. You did all the work. What are your CFL items on this Football Friday you'd like to discuss, Kevin?
I was talking to Corey, the producer, and I told him I got up and went down the rabbit hole of trying to find CFL topics to talk about. An hour and a half, 2 hours later. It was tough, Rod. I'm not going to. I had to go way down deep the rabbit hole, but I did find. I kind of been half paying attention to Touchdown Kelowna, or as I like to call it, Bash in the Okanagan or Clash in the Okanagan. I'm going to start that. See if they'll pick up on it. Clash in the Okanagan is way better than Touchdown Kelowna. Anyway, I didn't realize that they had expanded that stadium to between 17 and 18,000 seats. And they sold so fast that they actually opened up a party zone where they could sell higher price tickets. It's looking good for those two games. Calgary, is it Calgary then Edmonton, or Edmonton then Calgary, whichever way it is, 2 weeks there in the beginning. The impact to Kelowna, they're talking like $60 million economic impact to that area, which is amazing.
No kidding. Are you going to go? I think you said you were going to at least one of those games, no?
No, I'm in, unfortunately, I am tied up that whole time. I'm in Japan.
Okay. What? You didn't tell me you're going to Japan.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember that, but there's a lot of info going in and out of my cranium. I just want to stop for 1 second here. So we were talking about the UFL's contest to decide the greatest fan base in the UFL and having the fans vote on a fun thing. We said if we transferred that to the CFL, we would all know who would win. It would be Rider fans. And somehow the guys in the comments section have turned this around into who would win the worst CFL fans. I'm like, guys, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
And I'm watching it, and these are people who claim to be CFL fans, and we started something really positive. And all of a sudden it's, who has the worst fans? And I can guarantee you within 30 seconds, there's going to be a comment about attendance. That's how you can judge a fan.
Guys, what? Why? Get it out of here. You want to just get it out of here.
I don't understand the logic of the average CFL fan where it's always got to be freaking negative. I just talked about
crap.
The CFL, like, yes, FIFA's pushing the Lions out of their home stadium, so they decided to go up into Kelowna, and they're doing wonderful things. $60 million economic impact to the Kelowna area. The upgrades alone to that Apple Bowl is phenomenal. Yet, we're going to talk about the worst fans? Come on, guys. You can do better than that.
God, it's such a drain. From the audience, on the Western Dodge text line at 902-518-3033. You're looking to trade up? Western Dodge makes it easy with top dollar trade-ins and unbeatable deals. I was asking, I don't even know what the USA being favored by minus 1,000 mean. I don't even know what it means to beat Canada in the quarterfinal of the World Baseball. I just know that it can't be good. That sounds like a lot. Greg in Calgary writes in, he says, hi, Rod, minus 1,000 means you bet 1,000 to win 100. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just go to the roulette wheel or put it on a blackjack hand? I don't get it. But again, it's why I don't bet.
Or bet on Canada. Take the long shot. Miracles happen. You and I are miracles. We both talk about it all the time. It's a miracle we're still here. So
shouldn't be.
Put $10 on Team Canada. You could be rich.
Well, I was looking up on the Score app, man. I mean, I'm old and somewhat set in my ways. I will go to the Score app forever. I had to search around, but I found it where the game, it's 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm going to have a nap, maybe 2 ahead of that game tonight. Yeah. But it's fine. I'm ready for it. And it was Canada versus USA. And I looked at the line, and it was like USA minus 1,000. I'm like, I don't know what this means, but it can't be good. David, number 2, writes in with regards to, I said, I got hooked in again. with this fake news. It's what I call fake news. Justin Dunk and I argue over the definition of fake news, and we're both in the news business, and we're very close friends. It's not like we come to blows over this. Kev, you know that I can debate, argue, as can you. I think fake news is just making up news. Like I was the king of it in the CFL for a really long time. In a dead period like this, I would pull the pin in the grenade and lob it over the border at Winnipeg, or pull the pin in the grenade and lob it over the border at Calgary. Get people talking. Start something. It was fake news.
Yes.
Dunk says he thinks fake news is outright lies and misleading. And to be honest, I think if you Google it, he's right. But my point is, at this time of year in the NFL, it's a whole lot of fake news, whatever you want to say. So David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes, then he says, the NFL network needs a lot of hot air to fill up their airtime. And that's my point. The insider this morning is like, let's go to Kevin Hughes with the latest on Kirk Cousins and what he's going to do. Well, he could sign with the Rams. Yeah, he could sign with the Rams. He could sign with the Cardinals. He could sail in a boat around the world. He could go to the zoo for the day. I'm like, oh my God. I shut it off.
It's funny because when you talk about fake news, I think there's fake news like real news, and then there's fake sports news. Two different things. Fake sports news is just what you talked about, is you get an insider giving his opinion, which isn't news, on, I think he could go there, or he could go there. It's not real news.
Well, I don't want to give away trade secrets, but I'll tell you this. Up until just a few years ago, the insider knowledge, the scoops, was the currency of our business, but they took that away from us. They took it away from us. And I stopped breaking stories because it pissed a lot of people off, got me blackballed in some regions. And I'm like, okay, I won't break any stories. That's why I don't anymore. But what you can't take away from us is our opinion. And that's why this show is gaining in popularity, because because guys are just too afraid to say what they think anymore. They're afraid.
Well, and we're not. And that's what makes your show and your Cats and Bolts podcast. That's what makes it different. And you have people watching your show where you're like, you watch my show? That's cool.
Vintage Sasko, you'll get a kick out of it. I didn't want to tell this story here, but I'll have to push it after the break. But Jody Shelley, I just met him last night for the first time ever. Been watching him on TV, Columbus Blue Jackets, NHL on TNT, NHL on Prime. He's everywhere. He's like, I watch your show. I'm like, no, you don't. He goes, no, I do. I said, no, you don't. You don't know. You think you know who I am, but you don't. He goes, no, you're the Cats and Bolts. You do the show on the Lightning and the Panthers. You watch? I had that moment last night here in Sunrise, Florida with Jody Shelley. And I'll get into more of it later. Kevin, you have a great weekend. Enjoy the baseball game tonight. Wear red, for God's sakes.
Fine. I'll put on my red shirt. And go bet $10.
Okay, you got to have some Canada stuff kicking around, I would think. Pretend it's July 1st. Okay, sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way, everybody. Thanks, Kev. Great job, my friend. Thanks for digging up that info. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote Rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is a Football Friday. Kevin, the medium, has adjourned from the Hughes Sports Podcast. We'll get into some of the other topics, the things that he doesn't follow. He was like, hey, when I first met him, he's like, you're really into junior hockey. I'm like, yeah. Because we're just not in the big cities. I'm like, sucks to be you. The Junior Hockey Report for the Mad Greek Eatery. The Western Hockey League's Moose Jaw Warriors play the Raiders in Prince Albert Friday night. Well, the team they're tied with for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, the Red Deer Rebels, are hosting the Brandon Wheat Things. The Warriors are on home ice Sunday afternoon when they welcome the Regina Pats for a 2 o'clock start. That's your chance to go check out the Mad Greek Eatery in Moose Jaw for legendary ribs, and trust me, they are. Delicious pizza and late night bites. It's the Mad Greek Eatery, open until 11 p.m. So as I say, of the other topics, and this will probably morph a little bit into the sports update as well. The breaking news from the NHL earlier, the Chicago Blackhawks and Ottawa Senators will play 2 games in Dusseldorf later this year as part of the NHL and NHLPA's efforts to grow hockey in Germany, the league announced today. From last night, even in victory, the Toronto Maple Leafs suffer a loss. Matthew Knies had a goal and 3 assists as Toronto defeated the Anaheim Ducks 6-4 to snap an 0-6-2 stretch. Captain Austin Matthews ended a 12-game scoring drought in the second period, but left later in the frame and didn't return following a knee-on-knee hit from Ducks defenseman Radko Gudas. It's a good idea to stay off social media on this because I saw the knee-on-knee. I didn't think it was that bad. These guys are moving fast. Stuff happens. That's my take. But, in a related story, Colorado Avalanche forward Nathan MacKinnon had his game misconduct reversed by the NHL. MacKinnon received a major penalty in game misconduct for crashing into Edmonton goalie Connor Ingram from Imperial Sask. Glad you asked. In the Oilers' 4-3 win Tuesday night. Now MacKinnon won't get an automatic 1-game suspension if he received another game misconduct this season. Can we let the refs call the game? Can we normalize that? And go back and reverse it? God bless the referees. I saw Jeff Kravchuk do this once in the Lang Arena. The one where the drawbridge stairs go down, that was all the rage on social media a couple years ago. People were bitching at him. I'm not going to say who. I knew who was bitching. I feel like I was the backup goalie in that game. How else would I have known? But that this happened. Jeff Kravchuk stopped, took off his whistle, put it on the boards. You ref the effing game. Bye. It's kind of where I would be at as an NHL referee right now. If you don't like my calls, bye. I was 5 of 14 in picks last night, so I suck. I sucked yesterday. Today we rise to fight again, which, speaking of, 0.5, no rest for the Edmonton Oilers. They're in St. Louis to face the Blues after dropping a 7-2 decision to the Dallas Stars in Texas last night. The New York Islanders host the LA Kings in the only other NHL game. I'm calling it the Kelly Rudy Bowl. That's right, New York Islanders hosting the LA Kings. Look it up. We'll do the picks a little later for our friends at Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon. So that's a lot of what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to push the March Madness to next hour when we go full on America and air across Nevada. But anyways, I'm interested in taking it to the streets and listening to the fans here. There are those that are live streaming. 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Oh, I saw this. Gary in Penticton. Gary with 2 R's writes in. There's a whole dichotomy here that I got to be careful because we're live. There's things I want to say and then things that I can't say. But Gary says the Penticton V's moved up to the WHL this year, and they're having a great season. Yeah, they captured the BC Division pennant. I saw that, Gary. And let me just say this, Gary. Do you remember a couple of years ago, we reported first on this show that the Penticton V's were going to move up from the BC Hockey League to the WHL, and you wrote in and you said, well, what do you mean? Nobody's talked about that around here. I haven't heard that around here. Doesn't mean it's not happening. That's why it's tough. Now, here's another one. Wayne in BC writes in with regards to the topics earlier. He says, hey, Rod, I'm amazed that people always want to go negative. It's unfortunate, but not surprising that humans eventually go negative. Not all the time, okay? It's a conscious choice. I don't need to go into that. This ain't no therapy show. This isn't Dr. Phil. But a couple of things on that. It was a really fun night in the hockey rink last night. And the other day, as I told you, the media is winding you all up. I get that. And they always will. And you get sucked in. This started earlier in the week when I said ESPN was scrolling across the bottom of the ticker. What's making you angry today? Text in. Call us. Why? So I started asking, what's making you happy today? And people were writing in with that. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, Rod, it feels good. Yeah, it actually does. So last night, a little further on this, I get introduced to Jody Shelley. I've been watching him on TV for some time. Watched him as a player for years. You know how some people, and I hope it goes on in your life like it does with mine, that you just connect with. And I don't mind saying, Jeff Rimmer introduced us. Jeff Rimmer, the Hall of Fame voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets and former of the Panthers. He's like, Rod, this is Jody Shelley. Rod's a Miami sportscaster, Jody. And I'm like, I like the sound of that. We get talking. He goes, I watch your show, Cots and Bill. I said this earlier. And I'm like, no, you don't. Nobody knows who I am. And he goes, no, I watch it. When we go into a market, I always look for the top-rated podcasts in that area to see what's going on with the team. And you talk about both the Panthers and the Lightning. It works real good. And I'm like, yeah, that's why we designed it that way. So anyways, we keep talking. And as the night went along through the intermissions and after the game, we always kept bumping into each other. spirits align, I guess, something. I don't know. Namaste. The light in me recognized the light in him. And Rimmer can attest to all this because he was standing right there. So I looked up Jody Shelley and his hockey DB, and I said, how does a guy from Thompson, Manitoba end up playing for the Halifax Mooseheads? Oh, my dad worked in the oil industry, and he moved us from Manitoba to the Maritimes, and I grew up there, and it's been a great life. So Jody Shelley. And I said, hey, I thought you were just a beefcake. You know? Eye candy. There's actually, and then I'm like, I get it. Now I see why this guy's the rising star on television. He's got pizzazz. He's got chutzpah. Jody Shelley. Sorry, I'm reading from the comments. They're all talking about who started what fights. I don't care. Just leave me out of it. 902-518-3033. If you joined us late, we were talking earlier about the UFL has launched a contest to decide who the best fan base is in the United Football League, and I'm here for it. We're going to be following that league for the absence of any other football league playing live in the spring. And we said, we all know who would win a CFL contest. Come on, we do. We don't even need to have a vote. Chris is watching in Surrey, British Columbia. He writes in, he says, I'm a diehard Lions fan. I've seen games in every Western stadium from here to Regina. Every bad experience I have had with other fans has been in Vancouver. Based on experience, Rider fans best, Lion fans the worst. We were playing a game, 2010, Vancouver, Empire Stadium. You all remember that? Empire Stadium. They threw up a temporary stadium for the summer because their BC place was being renovated. It was awesome. They had a streaker in a wheelchair. Went on the field. I seen things in Vancouver too that you like. I just saw a streaker at a Canucks game climbing the mesh behind the net with no clothes on. I'm like, where am I? It must be a Vancouver thing. With regards to the baseball game tonight, and I'm praying to the baseball gods. 2 words, Ernie Witt. So we're already cheering for Canada anyways, but if you need a reason to be into this game tonight, look at Ernie Witt, who's coached Canada in every World Baseball Classic there's been. This is the first time they've made the playoffs. Ernie Witt said it's been a long road. For anybody that's gone down a long road and it ends in a beautiful destination, dear God, is that a good feeling? Let's just hope that the road doesn't end there tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern in Houston, Canada versus USA. And as I said, the USA is favored by minus 1,000. I don't even know what that means. Darcy in Grand Prairie writes in and says, you will win about $800 or so on a $100 Canada bet. Okay. I mean, I don't bet. Works well for me. I make my picks here, and that's enough. But I would think that if you put money down on Canada and they win, this is David versus Goliath, man, if there ever was one. But they're playing the game. They're playing the game. We'll talk a lot more about this next hour. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited, I'm probably going to have 2 naps ahead of the game tonight, 8 p.m. first pitch. Darren from Melfort writes in, he says, Jeff, the Stamps fan is banned from Riderville from this day forward. Newsflash, I don't think he wants to go to Riderville. So, who wins? 902-518-3033. Ted in Yonkers, hello. We'll open hour 2 with me going solo. Larry King style. Thank you, Chris, for updating the fact you're in Vernon now. We'll be back with hour 2 right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Well, I'm just going to jump into it right now. It's a football Friday, but it's that time of year where there's a lot of things going on. I'm very excited to welcome Jim Lang this hour here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network as we welcome our Nevada viewers. Everybody in Canada knows who Jimmy is. He's Canada's foremost expert on the National Football League, a multi-best-selling author. Jim Lang coming up in hour 2. Yes, don't adjust your sets. I'm wearing Canada garb. No, I'm not wearing my glasses because they're blue, and if I went out of the house or on television with a non-matching outfit, my daughters would not want to be seen with me. So I'm not wearing glasses today because they're blue. And why am I wearing Canada, you ask, colors? Let's get into it with the Quick Six show topics presented by our friend Neil Shark of Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP show. Canada's first ever playoff game at the World Baseball Classic will not be an easy one. It's tonight, the Canadians facing USA in a quarterfinal contest at Houston's Dakin Park, formerly known as Minute Maid Park. The Americans were favored going into this thing to win it all. There's 30 teams. They were supposed to win it all. Canada has never made the playoffs before. This is what we have going on tonight in Houston. I can't wait. It's an 8 p.m. Eastern first pitch. And as I was studying up on this game and getting ready for it, and I'll be honest, trust me, we're going to have a lot of NFL talk with Jim Lang next segment. But I feel sorry for those that are only into one sport or one league. I'm like, oh my God, that seems so dry. And I'm very, very, very grateful and blessed, as you know, to have been welcomed into the baseball world. And I probably would have been watching this game anyways, but as I was getting ready for this show, getting ready for the game, I looked up and saw that USA is favored by -1,000. I've said it like 3 times already on the program today. I'll say it a fourth. I don't bet. I don't know what -1,000 means, but that seems like a hell of a lot. Okay. And I'm reading the quotes and looking at the stats, and Abraham Toro, his OPS in this tournament is better than anybody on the USA team. Nobody even knows who Abraham Toro is, okay, from Team Canada. We can largely all only name one player on Team Canada, and it's Rod Black's kid, the iconic NBA and CFL broadcaster. USA, tune it in tonight. Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal. It's an all-star team. So it's David versus Goliath in Texas tonight. But I'm just going to say one thing before I move on, because we've kicked it around a lot today, and it is a Football Friday. But we had an Ernie Witt on this show some time ago, within the last couple of years. There's an argument over who's the greatest Blue Jays catcher of all time, Ernie Witt or Pat Borders. Ernie's the manager for Team Canada, and there was a quote of his. This is the 6th tournament, maybe the 7th, whatever it is. Ernie Witt's coached them all for Team Canada. They've never made the playoffs before. He said it's been a long road. And I don't know what this means. Like, are we getting better as a baseball nation or what? I don't know. But I should bring up the poll question because it relates to this. This morning on CNN, God bless them, across the bottom of the screen, Canada versus USA World Baseball Quarterfinal Friday night in rematch of Olympic hockey gold medal games. No, it's not. I don't even need to lob that out to you because you know it's not. But the poll question for EMJ Marketing today, Elite Speakers Bureau, Keynote Speakers Bureau, is it a rematch of the gold medal games from the Olympics in hockey? No. 79% of respondents agree with me. No, it's a different sport. It's a playoff game. It's not even the final. And should Canada win this one tonight, it's not going to make Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby feel any better or help them sleep at night. Or can we exchange our silver medals for gold because we won in baseball? Like, stick to news. The Chicago Blackhawks and Ottawa Senators will play 2 games in Dusseldorf later this year as part of the NHL and NHLPA's efforts to grow hockey in Germany. The NHL announced Friday morning the Global Series games on December 18th and 20th at PSD Bank Dome are the second and third regular season games the league has staged in the country, along with several exhibitions. The Buffalo Sabres and Los Angeles Kings played in Berlin in 2011. That's breaking news from the NHL as they continue to expand their global imprint on the ice on Thursday night. As far as my picks went, I had my lights punched out. But of the teams that we follow the closest, I had those right. I had the Florida Panthers winning, and they did, over the Columbus Blue Jackets Thursday night. The Vegas Golden Knights won. There was 14 games. Can't even remember who they played. Pittsburgh. They motorboated them. But the big story is this. Even in victory, the Toronto Maple Leafs suffered a loss. They beat Anaheim 6-4 Thursday night, but Captain Austin Matthews left the game in the second period and didn't return following a knee-on-knee hit from Ducks defenseman Radko Gudas. I'll say it again. I know why this show has such high ratings in Ontario. It's for the people that are sick of hearing about the Leafs. So I'm not going to talk any more about the Gudas hit. It looked clean enough to me, but because it was against a Leaf, they'll probably lock him up for 10 years. We'll see. Let me just say again, 902-518-3033 is the text line for Western Dodge. 902-518-3033 as we solicit your opinions. Wayne writes in from Victoria. He says, sorry, Rod, but you shouldn't have to match your glasses to what shirts you're wearing. LOL. You didn't have daughters, did you, Wayne? You didn't. It's not your fault. It's one of the many things I got PTSD from. There are 2 NHL games tonight. Should I get to them now? Nah, I feel like I'll push them to tomorrow. Actually, let's go to the NFL. Yeah, it is a football Friday for those that show up and those who celebrate. It's the breaking news from, I guess, announced Friday. This whole NFL free agency thing, we've talked all week about how confusing it is. Kyler Murray is a Minnesota Viking, the first player taken in the 2019 NFL Draft, signed a 1-year deal with Minnesota shortly after being released by the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona let Murray go despite owing him $36.8 million U.S. in guaranteed salary this season. He's going to make the league minimum in Minnesota, and the question is, does he start a game there? I've been enjoying the commentary, the coverage of the NFL, and we're really going to get into it with Jim Lang in the next segment. The Canada's foremost NFL expert, covered multiple Super Bowls, I think 5. Jim Lang will have takes on everything. And by the way, he's a Raiders fan. It's amazing how many fans the Raiders have, despite how bad they are. Don't get mad at me. Now look at the Ultimate Fan Zone. Billy, who owns it, sponsor of this show, I was in there this summer. I said, Billy, what's your number 1 selling merchandise? What team? He goes, oh, Las Vegas Raiders. Not even close. I'm like, just NFL? He's like, all sports. Raiders. Something about that black and silver and the pirate turns people on. But anyways, I've been watching a lot of the coverage. The good news and the bad news is this. The good news is there's some stuff worth listening to. You got to dig for it. But I saw the coverage out of Minnesota today with Connor Murray signing there. Like, I'm a huge J.J. McCarthy fan going back to the Michigan days. Led him to a national championship, which everybody seems to forget. Jim Harbaugh was his head coach. There's so much pressure on J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota for a variety of reasons. They expended a first-round pick on him, and then he was hurt in his first year. This year, he did not lead them to the playoffs after replacing Sam Darnold. And I feel for the kid, but I also feel, welcome to the NFL. It's pressure. They should somehow find a way to fit pressure into the name of the league, NFL. But why I pull for him even more. You remember Jim Barker, our former Football Friday analyst, going into that draft a couple of years ago. He's like, I wouldn't draft J.J. McCarthy. I said, why not? He's into that crazy meditation stuff. He's had open with his mental health issues. I'm like, because he had depression, because had some bad stuff happen to him as a teen, and he worked himself out of it and went to Michigan and won a natty. You wouldn't draft him because of that? Oh, but Jim Barker speaks for a lot of football people that way. If they're looking for any perceived strike against you, they won't take you. And J.J. McCarthy came and shoved that, So anyways, everybody's saying, a lot of pressure on J.J. McCarthy. This is a great move for the Minnesota Vikings in a lot of ways. Kyler Murray comes with a strike or two on him as well. Okay. And should be a fun training camp for the Minnesota Vikings is the point out of all that. So that's the good news. I've enjoyed the coverage out of there. But the bad news is I'm going to follow March Madness because I can't get away from it. Okay, we're the Golden Corral of sports here. We talk about all the sports, a little bit of everything for everybody, but I don't really know anything about it. And I was tired of it this morning. So I flipped over off ESPN to NFL Network. And the insider that they threw to, let's go to Jiminy Crickets with the latest on Kirk Cousins and where he's going to go. And the insider's like, well, he could sign with the Rams. He could sign with the Cardinals. He could sign in a million places. Or he could do nothing because he's owed X amount of dollars. And I'm sitting there going, you don't know. You don't know. Just say you don't know. And don't call yourself an insider. Why am I watching this? Click. So that's the bad news of this time of year. I'm just checking the viewer comments here. A lot of them carry over from last hour, so I'm a little lost here. Not that that's new. Jason writes in, says, that's because we are real fans, Rod. LOL, says the guy who just became a fan 4 or so years ago. What are we talking about? The Golden Knights? Jason also says, this is the Golden Corral, but without all the bloating and heartburn. know when to say when. I was thinking about this the other day. The last time, did I say Kurt Warner? Kirk Cousins. Oh, I see what you're saying. Jeff the Stamps fan writes in and says, Cards took a washed-up Kurt Warner, you said Kirk, and almost won a Super Bowl. That very good point. It's 1:11 Eastern for those that observed. Thank you for pointing that out. But, just dropped my hammer. It's 1:11 Eastern for the live audience, 11:11 Mountain. I wanted to point this out. Last time Moose was here in South Florida, we went to the Golden Corral, and I had 3 steaks, a taco, and 2 pieces of red velvet cake. You name me any other restaurant in the world that you can do that. You can't. Gary with 2 R's writes in, I'm glad to have you back, Gary. Gary's watching in Penticton, BC. He says, I am just about to give up on my Dolphins and find another NFL bandwagon to jump on. They have been worse than the Raiders. Oh, boy, Gary. Everybody, should we tell them? We've been talking about this for quite some time. And I think we should put Tony in the RP Show Viewer Hall of Fame. What do you say? We should have a Hall of Fame for that. Tony has renounced his fandom for the Cleveland Browns and did so by issuing a news release to this program and all of his friends. He's renounced his fandom of the Cleveland Browns. That's the good news. The bad news, he switched to the Houston Texans, another team that's never won a Super Bowl. So, yeah, we've been talking about for weeks, would you ever consider abandoning your team? And I just can't. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. I was thinking about this morning since 1990. I did not have cable. I don't mind saying it. I did not have cable television on the farm. We didn't watch NFL in Canada. So I go to college. And there's this team playing with this quarterback, Troy Aikman. I'm like, he's cool. I think I'm going to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was good for a while. It's been painful since. But not Dolphins painful. Not Dolphins painful. Kevin the Medium hanging in. He was our Hour 1 co-host. He says, we miss going to the Golden Corral. It's so amazing. I would not steer you wrong. By the way, we're going to get into all this NFL stuff with Jim Lang after the break. And listen, I'll do the March Madness later on in the program too, along with our NHL picks for tonight, but there are only 2 games. I do want to say this, people tried to go negative with the show today, and we're not allowing it. And I'm really enjoying telling the story of being with, Jody Shelley last night here at the Columbus, Florida game, but also having the chance to interview Sergei Bobrovsky yesterday. And they talked about the drama around him being traded potentially last week. And how did it affect you, Bob? He's just like, I love this team. I love these fans. I love this organization. I love the guys. I love everything. So I just want to stay. It was just, oh my God. He would be a terrible poker player, but who cares? And last night he showed why I believe he's the greatest goalie on the globe. And just the honesty. Just not his. And then when he was done the scrum, I turned and I said, thanks, Bob. He's like, of course. The positivity around here. And I feel bad for the Leaf fans and the Leafs and everything to do with that. That's one thing. It's a legitimate thing. Maybe we'll open that up with Jim Lang because Jody Shelley, it is a tough place to play. People are getting bashed for saying that, but it is true. I don't want to drag Jim Lang down, though, either. I think he wants to talk about the Raiders because that's so uplifting. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show across Nevada on Silver State Sports and across Canada and 33 states on Game Plus TV.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs guy through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
The RP Show continues on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV. Your teams, the biggest stories. Join Mike Davis and Mariah Janos live at 2 p.m. daily here on Silver State Sports in Vegas as they tackle the biggest stories in Vegas sports. Okay, Jim Lang joins us. Jim, I'm sorry I delinquent in sending you the link. You missed my funny joke before the break. I said I won't subject you to talking about the Leafs. You're sick of it. Let's talk about something far more uplifting, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, real quick about the Leafs before I get to the Raiders. I've heard from more diehard Leaf fans in our age group who have tuned out and turned off the team because they're so upset the way they're playing and the lack of effort they're seeing a lot of nights. They're just going to wait to the offseason and pick it up again and see if they can ignite the passion next year. That's how far they've fallen off the map here.
I don't listen. Let's go down that rabbit hole for a second. We are airing on Game Plus TV, anchored in Toronto, of course. So I'm getting a bang out of this. You're seeing how young the Leaf fan base is, or how they've got new fans. Yep. You're seeing people say hello to the 70s and 80s. It was always like this.
But the young fans are seeing Matthew Schaefer and Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard. There are phenomenal, not good, but phenomenal elite players in the league, 22 and under. A couple of them can't even legally buy alcohol in the United States, and they're putting up MVP caliber numbers. And for a lot of Leaf fans, they're like, wait a second, we've got a problem here. We need to get faster, and we need to bring in some players of that caliber in because, Austin Matthews can't play forever. and William Nylander can't play forever. So then what? And for the teams that have the Bedards and Celebrinis and future Gavin McKenna's and Matthew Schaefer, I mean, I look at the Islanders and Patrick Waugh is beside himself, an 18-year-old defenseman with 20 goals. It just doesn't happen.
No. Well, listen, one more on this because I want to be positive, but I had a great opportunity to meet and then basically spend the evening with Jody Shelley last night talking about these things. We'll admit, what a great guy. Oh, my God, I get it now. I get it. I said, I thought you were just a beefcake. There's a lot to this guy. He's not just a pretty face. But we'll admit, it's a very hard place to play. Toronto. It is. And your media, the Leafs were just through here, and the media said, it's a tough team to cover. I just don't see how that ever changes.
You know who's tougher? I think Montreal's tougher because you get a fairly large media contingent in both languages. And if you're a Francophone player, you're held to a higher standard. And I've been in media contingents in New York City, in Chicago, and other cities, in Philadelphia. There are no lightweights. And just because there's not as many, some of the talk radio, I don't think people realize how ruthless talk radio is in Chicago, New York, Boston.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, it's brutal. Like there's nothing compared to Toronto radio. There's nothing.
You're right. You're 100% right because we had a Dolphins fan right in here early because he's thinking he's ready to give up. You've heard me bring up Joe Rose. Yesterday, he goes, I'm going to bring on Kim Beaucamper next hour, and Kim is at an age where he doesn't care what he says. I'm not there yet, and I'm not at that age yet. And I'm like, Joe, what would you say if you weren't worried?
Exactly.
The stuff he says about this team, I can't believe they let him on the plane. He still does color. Anyways,
and then he's like, when I get older, I'll take the filter off, Rod. And you're like, that's unfiltered?
That's what he was saying. Oh, my God. If I was Mike McDaniel, I'd have thrown him off the plane. Things he said in the air. Anyways, Let's come back on that because we are airing across Nevada.
Yeah.
Not like they never will get tired of the Raider talk, good or bad. Like this Max Crosby thing, Jim. Your thoughts?
Okay, here's my interesting take on it. He was not happy with the Raiders in the front office. The trade is made, fails the physical, and then his comments like, "Yeah, Raider Nation, let's go." Okay, so what happened? Did Tom Brady pull him aside? He must have had some come to Jesus moment after he failed the physical and the trade fell through. Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson was doing the social media posts with the big eyes like, oh my God, here comes Max Crosby. He fails the physical. He's back in Vegas with the Raiders and everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Like it never happened.
Yes, but what do you believe? Because I'll tell you right now, you're my favorite NFL pundit. My next favorite NFL pundit is Mike Florio. He's a sharp guy and a lawyer. Yeah. And him and Chris Sims were comparing notes this morning, and they're like, something's not right here. Like, they don't believe the medical story that he failed. He thinks they legit got cold feet, backed out, and blamed failing the physical.
And that's happened before. So, I mean, if you're Clint Kubiak, so you're the new head coach. You're coming off a dream year with the Seahawks. You have the ring, and now you're taking over an historic NFL franchise. When the Raiders are good, the NFL is a better league. And I don't care if I'm pissing off fans from other teams around the league. There are certain teams in pro sports that the entire league is better. And when the Raiders are good and they're a playoff caliber team and the Raider Nation is rocking, it's better for the league. And they need a motivated Max Crosby. The quarterbacks in the NFL are so good. If you can't get pressure on them, you're doomed. And to have a player like Max Crosby of that skill level, I mean, for Tom Brady, I have to believe that Tom Brady and Clint Kubiak, after everything fell through, they got him down to like, look, we need you. We can't win without you. We can't go forward. We can't take a next step forward. We're probably going to get Mendoza in the draft, right? So they need that veteran presence, that elite presence with them, with the young guys to sort of lead them and teach them the Raider way. Pride and poise, commitment to excellence. It goes back to Al Davis in the late 60s, early 70s when that sort of mantra started to develop, and the Raider alumni live it to this day. the living alumni, and they have to keep that going to bring the Raiders back to what they should be. They should be a team that competes at least for a playoff spot every year. And that's where, so Clint Kubiak, to me, that's such a great hire in Vegas, that you have this quarterback who took a coach who took a quarterback off the scrap heap, who was written off, and he's an NFL champion. So when he gets an elite, high-end pedigree first-round pick, you're thinking, what could he do with them? And how would their relationship build? And if you're a Raiders fan, you want 7, 8, 9, 10 years of coach and quarterback working together and growing.
By the way, I'm smiling because a lot of the the NFL just gets our comments going crazy, which is awesome. That's what you want. Yeah. And before, I want to ask you about Tony Dungy leaving NBC, but because you're a Raiders fan, I just want to ask you this. They're leaning on the history, right? When they hired Kubiak, they brought out 6 Hall of Famers and surrounded them at the table, and they're doing all that. But it doesn't look like there's a plan. You can't tell me when they hired Pete Carroll, people were like, you're hiring a 73-year-old coach. What's the succession plan? They didn't have a succession plan. They wouldn't have known that Clint Kubiak was going to be the coach. Like, I don't see a lot of planning and foresight there in Las Vegas.
Well, with Kubiak, he's 39, and there's a lot of the top coaches in the NFL are like early mid-30s to late 30s. Because, I mean, you saw like the Schneider comments, like leading up to the Super Bowl, where he sees his family one day a week, the kind of commitment to be a coach in the NFL and be a successful coach. So it's a lot easier to have a 39-year-old head coach in the NFL who sleeps in his office 2 days a week than have a 75-year-old. I mean, what 75-year-old wants to sleep in a cot in his office 2 days a week as opposed to a 39-year-old who's like hasn't won yet? That's a different. Like Pete Carroll's been there, done that. He's had success, where Kubiak's had success as an assistant, and now here he is, the head coach of a team like the Raiders. So that to me, I'm going to give him 3-4 years at least. Like, build it. He's going to make mistakes, but let him make mistakes. Don't be quick to try to run him out of town. Let him stumble. Let him learn. Let him build something in Vegas. Because, that's part of the problem in all pro sports, is not giving, especially a new coach with a new program, time. And it will take time to build what he wants to build there.
And time is not something that it goes around a lot in any pro sports right now. But by the way, it's funny you bring that up about Schneider. Bill Zito, at the end of the NHL trade deadline here in Florida, met with the media, and he just stood in front of the mics. He's like, I basically haven't slept in 5 days. And he looked like it. I don't think the fans understand this.
Yeah, and that's pro sports, Rod. And that's, the GM of a baseball team. And there's not an elite position in a front office in pro sports now, GM, assistant GM, coaches and all that, who don't give their life to the sport. You are giving up a lot of your life, personal life, affecting your personal relationships to build the team, to make them a winner. And that's the sacrifice you make. And that's why the window is so small. You just alluded to the Panthers. Go to the Cup final, win twice in a row. If that's their window, that's an incredible legacy for Zito and the Panthers. Incredible. And all the teams in pro sports who get a taste and get something, like the OKC Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like they're obviously in a window now because he's so good. And if you get that elite talent and have some success, you basically throw all your chips on the table, because your window could only be a couple of years, no matter what it is. And you might as well, go home 1 day a week if you think you're going to win, because afterwards you're probably going to lose your job. You'll have your rings, and then you can spend all the time you want at home.
I know. Well, you'd better. Exactly. And your kid, you're going to walk through the door and your kid's going to go, who are you again? But that's why we're so grateful to have had Kelly McCrimmon on this show from the Golden Knights, because I know how busy it is. I've seen it from the inside. So totally off topic from all the contracts and stuff is the Tony Dungy thing. You see that he's walking away from NBC Football Night in America. And I just want to get your take on that, because I know you covered Super Bowls, I believe, that he coached in, if I'm not mistaken. I will miss him on the pad. Everybody's trashing him, but everybody gets trashed on social media. They're saying he's sanctimonious, he's this and that. I don't know. I kind of like the guy, and I'll miss him on Sundays in the NFL. But where are you on that move by them?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to make them a better broadcast. I'm a big fan of having different voices. Now, I don't agree with his vote in the Hall of Fame. And Bill Belichick, to me, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And obviously, Rodney Harrison has a history of Belichick. And that's where that viral clip, he's basically going after him on live TV. But Tony Dungy, people forget, was a defensive back at the Steelers in the late 70s. Was a player, a longtime assistant coach. And there's so few African-American coaches in the NFL. And here's someone who was successful in Indy and then goes to Indianapolis. Like that's a heck of a career. And maybe his approach to broadcasting and football and that is something you don't agree with. But I'm with you. I mean, if you don't like him on the air, that's fine. But I mean, I think there's a difference between Tony Dungy, the human being, and the person. And maybe you don't like his takes and his approach and his view on the National Football League. And that's, part of the reason. I mean, the salary cap in the NFL now, Rod, is over $300 million. It was floated out this week that the NFL is probably going to be playing a game now when they release the schedule on Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday. Because Wednesday in America, for a lot of Canadians don't realize, is the busiest bar night in the United States. Because everyone's come home and they all go to the local bar and pub before they have Thanksgiving dinner with the family the next day. So the NFL, Roger Goodell's like, way to make money. We'll throw a game on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving when everyone's home and watch it in their sports bar, in their pubs, in their local towns across America. So that's the thing with the NBC. They've put so much money into it, whether he's on the broadcast or not, it's not going to change anyone's enjoyment of the broadcast or the game. I mean, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens in broadcasting all the time where someone goes, you know what, let's have a change. This is not fitting. That's just the life of sports broadcasting right now, especially when so much money is invested in the NFL. There's been, I think, over $5 billion of contracts handed out in the NFL since Monday. $2.5 billion guaranteed money. So they're like, if they don't like you, you're out. They don't care because they're there to make money.
Of course, and by the way, so what I saw, the reason Tony Dungy's being let go is they're downsizing. Yet all the money they're making, but NBC's downsizing. And with regards to the Wednesday night of Thanksgiving week, that's the biggest night, wildest night. The Panthers are always home that night. They play a home game always the night before Thanksgiving because, as you say, all the kids are home for Thanksgiving from college and all the rest. By the way, the betting odds for Super Bowl at both FanDuel and ESPN Bet, I looked it up this week, have the LA Rams as the favorite. Would you go along with that?
That's a pretty good pick. I got to tell you, one of my favorite signings this week was the Chiefs picking up Kenneth Walker III. I think he's a productive, effective, elite-level running back. And if there's one thing the Chiefs need to their offense is a threat like that. And I still go back to John Elway, with all his greatness, all his success. When he got older and he'd been banged around a bit, and he had Terrell Davis in the backfield, it changed the offense and changed how you defended the Broncos. And Patrick Mahomes has played a lot of football in the last 10 years, especially with the postseason. He's taken a lot of hits. If I'm the coaching staff, I don't want him scrambling as much. I don't want him exposing his body to hits. You got to keep him healthy. You got to preserve him. I mean, you got a stud like Kenneth Walker III in the backfield. You could give him the ball 20, 25 times and really open up offenses, keep them honest, and then he can, work his play action with his receivers and tight ends and stuff like that. So I really like that signing by the Chiefs. And so that's the thing where you're putting odds in now. You're not sure how the free agents are going to integrate with the team, the draft, who gets hurt in training camp. So it's so early. Yeah, maybe the Rams are an okay pick, but boy, January's a long way off, Rod. I wouldn't put any money on it.
I was shocked when I saw the Rams atop it. And by the way, you mentioned the Chiefs. You can't find them with a search party in the top 6. Like when they lost Super Bowl 59, we had a poll on this show. I said, will they be back to the Super Bowl? Like 80% said yes. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm wondering if the window's closed.
I'm curious about the Bills and their new stadium. Like, are they going to be able to finally get over the hump? There's a lot of unknowns in the NFL and a lot of things interesting. And, until someone beats the Seahawks, they're still one heck of a good football team and well coached and a phenomenal defense. And they're going to win a lot of games right there on their own. And the 49ers getting Mike Evans, I think, is going to make them kind of dangerous as well.
Oh, isn't this? It's kind of sad. I feel like when these iconic players go somewhere else at the end of their career, but I feel like they all do. Who really rides into the sunset with the team that made them famous?
But the business being what it is, Rod, the teams that look at older cap-heavy players eventually have to go, you do your thing, because it's managing the cap is so important in any sport that deals with it. And teams that mismanage the cap, NHL, NFL, whatever, they suffer. And if you get a productive player at a good number, it's a big deal. The Vikings signing Kyler Murray at $1.3 million in a one-year contract is a no-risk, low-paying move. That's an easy fit at a $300 million salary cap. You get Kyler Murray for $1.3 million in 1 year. If it doesn't work, who cares? But what if it works for the Vikings? Right?
Who do you think starts week one there? We only got a minute. Who do you think starts week one?
Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be so motivated and have such a chip on his shoulder in camp. I think he's going to win the job.
Well, the book on him was that he was immature, and it's like, what grows you up? Kicks in the nuts. And he took one from the Cardinals this week.
He sure did.
So that's usually how it works. Jim, always a pleasure, man. We covered all our topics. Go Leafs. Are you going to be booking tea times for them?
No, but I wanted to say thank you for your interview with Rod Black and giving the book a plug. I really appreciate it.
All right. My pleasure, man. You guys did a great. I can't wait to get my hands on it. You know where to find me. The great Jim Lang.
Do.
The great Jim Lang joining us, and he ghostwriting on the Rod Black book, Cut to Black. We'll be right back on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, everybody. The RP Show here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Explore this week's most popular picks or jump straight to 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star options to match your style and budget. Whether you're planning a weekend escape or a luxury stay, your ideal Vegas hotel is just a click away at Vegas.com. From the audience, we got some good stuff coming in here. Jeremy writes in, thank you for the reminder, Jeremy, the Red Wings fan. He writes, Red Wings, bunch of bums. Yeah, they lost in Tampa last night. That is a tough place to go in and win. Florida's been the house of horrors for a lot of teams coming through here. Used to be California. Now that's generally 6 easy points out there, although that's changing a little bit. But yeah, your Wings lost. They suck. Sorry. Bye-bye to them. Thanks for the reminder on the NHL games tonight, though. There are only 2. I'm calling it the Rudy Bowl on Long Island. The LA Kings at the New York Islanders. What do you think about that, Joe Lazito, who tells me he tunes in every single day on his commute and thanks me for, he says, making his commute bearable from Manhattan to Long Island. Kings at Islanders. It's the Islanders are going to win. So, show me a coaching change that does nothing, Alex. Ding! Los Angeles. Edmonton Oilers of the St. Louis Blues. Okay, we all know the Leafs are what? The most blank team in the NHL. The Leafs are the most blank team in the NHL. Edmonton Oilers, the most bipolar, frustrating. I don't know. They get on a roll and go in. They beat Colorado in Colorado. They beat Vegas in Vegas, and then go in and get their pants ripped down in Dallas. Like, what the hell, Edmonton? But they will beat the Blues tonight. There's only 2 games. I don't know what they're talking about in the comments section, but producer Corey wrote in and says, awful, overrated, and overmoneyed. Are you talking about the RP show? Remind me, Corey, to tell you, and for that matter, all the Nevada viewers, because this happened long before we went to air there. Some guy wrote into the show anonymously, found our mail, wrote in. He goes, I was a producer in several major markets of television shows. And I have to say, your show, I don't know what it is. The host is arrogant. The show topics have ADD. Your sound effects are annoying. I'm like, correct on all. Yes, guilty as charged. That's exactly what we want. Yeah, right. He was anonymous, of course. Corey's yelling in my ear. I got him wound up. We got to get Corey a microphone. Of course, it was anonymous. So the guy was watching every day. So, of course, I'm working on my mouth. I said to Jeff Rimmer last night, the Hall of Fame voice of the Panthers and Blue Jackets, I said, you got to meet the kinder, gentler me. He goes, I sense that. I said to that guy, if you were any good, you'd still be working in those major markets. He just ran away crying. Come back. Come on. I'd stepped on him. Corey says, it must be a Canadian network. I got the sense that it wasn't, but does it matter at this point? Does it matter? Yeah, I got the sense it was an American networks that he worked at. I don't care. He said, by the way, here's what I think about your show. We didn't ask. Newsflash. Don't give advice unless it's asked for. I learned that it's like first day of recovery coaching school. I feel like we're going to have to push the sports update to the next segment, which is brought to you by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. We call it Overtime. What did you say, Rich, at Edmonton? Oilers equal mediocre. That's not the term that came to mind for me, but it's yours, and that's okay. This is a safe space. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, says the Leafs are overcovered, overanalyzed, and over-disappointing. Well, I only asked for one, but we'll take it. Oh, producer Corey says he was talking about the Leafs, not this show, when I said awful, overrated, and overmoneyed. Well, I've been called way worse. Overtime is next. We'll put a bow on this when we come back of the very fun week here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs guy through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. So glad to have you all with us all week long, and especially here in this segment as we wrap it up. It's brought to you by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. They've been pretty quiet in Calgary there, and I get it. The Flames going to miss the playoffs. But hey, if you're missing hockey in Calgary, easy peasy. Head on down to Overtime Hockey Lanes and get your hockey fix there. Hello. It's actually more fun than watching it live. I can vouch for that. Vouch. 28th Street, Northeast Calgary. It's an amusement park for hockey players. Trust me, I've never steered you wrong. Let's get something clear here. Rich in Edmonton writes in and says, for your Vegas audience to understand why all the hatred for the Leafs, put it this way, the arrogance of the Yankees, their fans, and the New York media times 10, and all without winning since 1967. I'm not even going to argue with you there. But what I will say is speak for yourself. I don't hate the Leafs. I said going into the year that I want them to win the Stanley Cup so that they can all shut up about it. 1967, I'm so sick of the whining. And as far as the hate goes, I mean, I don't hate anybody. Hate takes too much out of you. Although I did hear a term. I was listening to, I saw a clip. That's how we all do it now in the media business, right? People just see the Instagram and YouTube shorts and reels. And it was this guy, he's really good. I'd have never seen him before. Afternoon radio show in Boston, WEEI Radio, famous radio station there in Boston. And the guy said, he goes, I sports hate Jeremy Swayman. And I knew exactly what he was saying. I just knew. I didn't need it to be explained. He's like, I don't know him, so I can't actually hate him, but I sports hate Jeremy Swayman. And his whining, and he can't play coming back from the Olympics, yet he never even played there. And we got other goalies that started at the Olympics, and they're starting the first game back. He goes, I just sports hate Jeremy Swayman. I'm like, I'm going to use that term. I do sports hate a lot of things. Oh, yeah. I just don't real hate anybody because that takes too much energy. Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. If you're looking for something to do and you're in that area, check them out. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. I just want to say this. I've said it a few times on the show today. It was, well, if I can use a blank for the term, we've covered the Leafs. Let's settle on overrated. We'll use Rich's term for the Oilers. He said mediocre. I wouldn't go along with that, but that's okay. We use all the opinions here. Vegas Golden Knights are the most, I would say, reliable team. They'll be in the playoffs and they will figure it out. If you want to jump off the bandwagon, go ahead. It's a free country. It's a free world. The Florida Panthers, although they do have a lot of haters for a variety of reasons, chief among them, they've won. Number two, they've earned them because they do like to troll a little bit. But I would say they are the most positive team in the National Hockey League, or maybe even in sports. I'll say it again. If you've been watching this show long enough, when I showed up knocking on their door 5 years ago and said, hey, I do a little show. Can we work together? They're like, come on in. And the Florida Panthers. Right up into last night, because we live in this world, in the recovery world, the mental health world, we talk about masks. People wearing masks all the time. You don't really see behind the mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. That's why you're watching this show right now. But Sergei Bobrovsky last night, everybody wants to wear a mask in the sports world. We're all so serious. We're all so this and that. Poker face. Here's Bob. Hey, Sergei, how did it feel last week when you almost got traded or there was rumors of it? He's like, I just love it here. I love the team. I love the fans. I love the organization. I love the guys. I love everything. I just want to stay. He didn't wear a mask. That's just Bob. It was so refreshing. And then it's brought the predictable comments about, we'll see how much he likes it when they cut his wage by 50%. I think Bob will be just fine. If he goes from $10 million down to $5 million, I'd take that deal. Yeah, I would. Jason writes in and says, regarding the Oilers losing to Dallas, Dallas is a very fast and good team right now. Everything is chugging. And saying the Oilers beat Vegas isn't saying much. LOL. Well, everybody's just trying to figure their stuff out, jockeying for playoff spots and where they will fit. If you want to talk about the Dallas Stars for a second, what would be the team? When we could do 2 hours on this. The Dallas Stars are the most blank team in the NHL. You want to talk about bridesmaids, never the bride? The Dallas Stars, well, I would say are the most bridesmaid team in the NHL, but then you got, what about the Carolina Hurricanes? Maybe those two should hook up. Gary in BC says the Panthers are the most well-coached team. He says hard not to like Paul Maurice. It's one of the greatest blessings of my life is being around these people. Paul Maurice is just highly, highly, highly intelligent. But he also has this very warm thing about him. Paul Maurice is special. John Cooper over in Tampa, he's not warm. I feel like he'd pop you if you needed it. But just as smart, just different. And we get to have both those coaches here. It's awesome every day. One more. Jason says, Rod, the Flames are only 9 points out of a playoff spot, so I'm saying there's a chance. Paul Maurice was asked about if they were passing around left-handed lettuce on the Bobrovsky rumors. The electric lettuce, as they say. I feel like you might have been into it, Jason, if you think the Flames are going to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. But you know what? You do you. As we say, we're very inclusive around here. Scott Laughlin has rescheduled to Monday, so that'll be fun from NHL Radio. He couldn't make yesterday's show because, remember, he had an accident. He'll be with us Monday. My friend Janice, my new old friend Janice is going to be with us next week, and you're not going to want to miss that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Until then, have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV.
That